Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So if you're new to my channel, my name is Nikki and on social media I go by the name Fopaholic. So if you don't know about my history with weight loss or body transformations, whatever you want to call it, health, fitness, etc. I lost 3 stone in 3 months about 20 years ago with Slimming World. Very passionate about Slimming World. I actually worked for them for 14 years as well as an area manager and senior goal consultant. Had lots of members be successful, loved my job, but then got pregnant via IVF with my twin boys and decided that I wanted to just focus on them while they were young. And now I do a bit of part-time work on social media. So I'm very passionate still about helping people, and I get asked lots and lots of questions regarding my recent fitness journey. So there's loads of other videos about that. So there's videos on Slimming World versus calorie counting. There's videos on my 12-week transformation challenge that I did with Ben Mackey. That was just phenomenal. I've never looked like that in my life. So it's one of the best things that I've ever done. Then I had my big birthday in November during lockdown, then Christmas, and then Valentine's, my husband's birthday, etc, etc. So I'm not where I was. So I wanted to draw the line and get back to calorie counting again with, you know, Slimming World principles. So I'll explain what I mean by that. So let's start with the basics. I get lots and lots of people contacting me that have never ever done calorie counting before. They don't really understand it. They're not too sure where to start. So let's go through the basics. Number one, you need to download an app, a calorie counting app. So you've got a couple of choices here. MyFitnessPal is actually free, so you can download that. I wouldn't say it's probably the most accurate one on the market. I would say NutriCheck is fabulous, but you do pay for NutriCheck. I actually paid for the premium MyFitnessPal because I wanted to kind of look into the stats and the analytics a little bit deeper. So I did buy the premium version, but the free version is absolutely fine. So first of all, you just need to download the calorie counting app onto your phone. Number two, you need to actually calculate how many calories you're going to be having. So what I see is quite a common, not mistake, but a common misconception is that people tend to go on the calories that MyFitnessPal work out for them. Now, typically these are quite low. And the problem is if you start crash dieting and you go too low on your calories, it's highly likely that you're going to struggle to stick to it, and it won't be a long-term solution to your weight loss or your health and fitness goals. So the best thing to do is to go and find a proper calorie counting calculator. That wasn't easy to say. So that will take into consideration your height, your age, your weight, your goals, and so on. Now, a really good one that I can recommend for you is James Smith. James Smith is a personal trainer, motivational speaker, basically a pro on all this sort of thing. So I'll put the link down below and you can go and check out his calorie counter. So if you just go through the process on there, you can work out how many calories you're going to stick to each day. Some people look at macros, but this is when you're going to be getting into it a bit deeper. I wouldn't worry personally too much about macros at the moment. So macros are things like your fats, etc. I do, however, believe in the power of protein. Protein and carbohydrates have the same calories per gram as each other. So a lot of people think that they have to avoid carbs to lose weight. That's not actually true. But protein does tend to keep you feeling fuller for longer. So protein is king, if you like. So calorie wise, they're the same, but I try and aim for at least 100 grams of protein per day. That's me being a female, my age, my goals, etc. So if you want to aim for a protein goal, then you can, but your priority is going to be how many calories you're going to stick to per day. So once you've got your amount set, it'll give you your total, and then throughout the day then you'll be inputting things like breakfast, lunch, snacks and your dinner. So one thing I wouldn't recommend to do, and all personal trainers tend to say this too, is don't eat your exercise calories. So when you're going into MyFitnessPal, you're going to be putting in if you're active, if you're lightly active, if you're very active. That will actually take into consideration, whether you use a calculator or MyFitnessPal, what exercises you do and how much you're burning. So ideally, don't eat your exercise calories. So that's just a little tip for you as well. So when setting your weight loss goals, it'll ask you how much you want to lose. So try and aim for something that's healthy, that's realistic, that's sustainable. You know, if you go too high, your calories are going to need to come down quite low. And what most people find is if they are having like, I don't know, 2,000 calories now, and then immediately they cut down really, really low, they're going to struggle. So you're better off actually slowly cutting down if that is something you want to do, or you can go straight to like a sensible amount, 1.6, 1.5, depending on your age or weight, and then just stick to that. Something that's quite useful to know is that you can actually, I don't know what the right word is, bank calories if you like. So you can use flexible calories. So what that means is, for example, I'm quite partial to a bottle of Gem Shed red wine at the weekend, especially during lockdown. I never ever drank from home before. It's not really ever been something I've done, but during lockdown I do look forward to that wine. So if I think, right, well, I'm going to be eating quite a lot of food that day, therefore I'm not going to have enough calories for the wine. If I know I'm going to have that on a Friday night or a Saturday night, I can think, right, I'll take 100 from Monday, 100 from Tuesday, 100 from Wednesday, whatever, and then I will bank them. So I'll have less calories through the week and then have a few more calories, well, quite a few more for wine, the weekend. So that is something you can choose to do as well. So if you do have a day where you've struggled and you've gone over for whatever reason, you felt emotional, you've been struggling with your mental health, you know, you've been celebrating something from home and you've gone over on your calories, don't worry about it, don't stress. The great thing is that it doesn't matter. You know, what you can do then is drop them throughout the week if you still want a weight loss that week. So it's not a problem. So what I would also highly recommend that you do is still aim for a pyramid, what I call like a pyramid of health. So still think about nutrition when you're calorie counting. You can, in theory, still be in a calorie deficit and lose weight by eating a McDonald's every single day. But if you eat McDonald's every single day, that's not going to be particularly healthy, and you'll probably find that you're actually hungry. So using all your calories just on like one meal, that's a really high calorie meal, is something you could do every now and then if you wanted to, but you're going to struggle. So still think about a pyramid of nutrition. So what I mean by this is quite similar to Slimming World principles, is that the biggest part of your daily intake ideally should still be those things like protein, carbohydrates, fruits, vegetables, all those really healthy, really filling foods that are lower in energy density than other foods. And then the next layer of the pyramid, you can start thinking about like your breads and your cereals and things like that, which obviously will all be weighed and measured when you are calorie counting. And then the last little tip can be your things like your alcohol, your chocolate, your biscuits, your crisps, and all those sorts of things. So it's still trying to think, right, yeah, okay, I'm calorie counting and I want to be in a calorie deficit, but I'm also trying to eat healthy, become fitter, sleep better, get more hydrated, and so on. So still think about the nutrition of what you're eating. What some people like to do when they calorie count is to make sure that they plan their day at the beginning of the day. So they'll sit down and they'll think about like, what am I going to have for dinner? What am I going to have for lunch? What am I going to have for my breakfast? And then how many calories does that leave me for my snacks or a drink or whatever you want to do? So that is an option. I tend to just go with the flow. I'm not a massive planner. I must admit, I probably do better when I plan in terms of experimenting and trying different recipes and things like that. But I tend to just count as I go, but you can plan. A lot of people plan and they find that really, really works for them. So when you're putting in your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, etc., just making sure that everything is weighed accurately and you're not deceiving yourself. So using scales when you're calorie counting is vital. So I use just normal scales. They've got milliliters on them, they've got grams, they've got pounds, etc. I'll link them down below for you. What's a really, really good way of measuring sauces and like my chocolate spreads and things like that is to actually put the jar on the scale and then set it to 0. Take out whatever you want to use and then that's the amount that you've used. That's a much quicker way of doing it. What some people do is put the entire jar on, maybe it'll weigh like 400 grams, then go and put whatever they want to put on their food, then re-weigh the jar and then work out the difference between the two. That takes so much longer. So yeah, just pop it on, 0 it off, take out what you want to use, and there you go, that's how much you've used. So another tip is really, really important, and I have messed up with this before, so I can teach you from my mistakes, is to actually make sure when you're weighing things like pasta and stuff like that, quinoa, rice, any of those things, that you are double checking the calories. Are they for the dried amount or are they for the cooked amount? Okay, so just make sure that you are checking out things like that, because that can make a massive difference. I seen a huge debate the other day on a calorie counting group, and it was all about some frozen chips. And this lady had like this big plate of frozen chips, and people were like, that's not that amount, that can't be right, la la la. And bless her, she was like counting them again, and they were like, have you weighed them cooked, have you weighed them frozen? And there was like this huge debate. It's like Chipgate. So just be sure that you are double checking that sort of thing as well. Then in terms of fluids, so it's up to you how much you drink each day. I was advised to drink at least 2 litres of fluid each day, so I do that. I still have my cherry Pepsi Max because I love it. But yeah, I still try and drink sugar-free squash, tea, coffee. I actually have decaffeinated drinks, so they do count towards my goal of 2 litres a day. Another little thing that I find really handy, which is where you can be a bit more flexible with calorie counting, is quick fixes. Like, yes, we'd all love in an ideal world to cook from fresh every single day for every single meal, but time doesn't always allow that, or you just can't be bothered, or you haven't got the motivation, or you know, the kids need their food and you're starving and you just want to throw something on a plate. Lots of quick fixes like the rice pouches, stir fries, prawns are amazing with some soy sauce and some lazy garlic, lazy chili, lazy ginger. So any sort of quick fixes like baked beans on toast, jacket potatoes, all of those sort of things are really handy to have. Also lower sin treats. So when I say treats, treat to me is not necessarily food. You know, when you're really craving something sweet but you don't want to blow all your calories on a snack that you know won't fill you up, just look at some lower calorie crisps or some lower calorie chocolate and things like that. Or I tend to go for protein bars as well, which are higher calorie but they've got loads of protein in, so they tend to keep me feeling fuller for longer. If you go and check out my Instagram, there's loads and loads of different information on different, you know, low calorie treats that you can have. Mars ice creams are amazing. Amazing. Less calories than what you think as well. When calorie counting, yes, calorie deficit you can do just by sitting on the sofa and just by eating less calories and creating a deficit. So you're taking in less than your body is going to burn. But if you increase that activity, if you increase your exercise levels and you actually get out and you do some walking or you do some workouts from home, or once the gym's open, which I cannot wait for, you can go and do some classes or whatever you want, whatever gets your heart rate moving a bit faster and will help you burn some more calories. I wear a Fitbit, so I've got a Versa 3 and I love it. So I make sure that I do 10,000 steps per day. But again, like the calories, you can carry these over. So if one day you only do like 8,000, you can just add on 2,000 to the next day. That's just a goal that I have to make sure I'm in a deficit. Alongside that, I do weights. So at the moment in the UK, gyms are still closed during our pandemic, our lockdown. So I have a bit of a gym set up over here. So I've just been doing a workout now, which is where I've got my workout gear on. So I tend to do weights-based workouts, 1 hit a week, because I'm not really a high intensity exercise person. I prefer to do weights. With doing weights and combining with the protein and the calorie deficit, that's when I got like probably my most toned, and I just couldn't believe that I managed to get like that, and I would never have got like that without really tracking my food. I think calorie counting years ago got quite a bad rep because people used it to diet and they would go too low, and it just become a bit of like a taboo thing to do. But what you've probably noticed now on social media, it's regained its popularity and it's becoming extremely popular because now you've got the apps and things like that. It's a lot easier, but also it provides a lot of information and you're learning so much more about nutrition, and it really opens your eyes. I think it's important to do whatever suits you. Like long-term calorie counting can be a bit of a pain, I'm not gonna lie. So things like Slimming World and sticking to the principles of Slimming World are still fantastic. At the end of the day, Slimming World is a calorie controlled diet. It is. So we don't call it a diet, it's a lifestyle change. I always say we, even though I don't work for them anymore. But it is still providing a calorie deficit if you really do stick to it. But the smaller you get, the less calories you need, hence why I got better results doing the calorie counting. Long term, Slimming World got 3 stone off for me and I kept it off for ages, but then I'm greedy and I just started eating too much. So I definitely wasn't in a calorie deficit, so I stopped losing weight, and I stopped feeling fit and I stopped feeling healthy, and I just lost my way, and calorie counting helped me find my way again. So Another tip with the app, to make things a bit easier for yourself, you can create recipes and you can create meals, or you can do a quick ad. So if you're scanning your food or you're searching for it by its name and it's not coming up, you can do a quick ad. If you do a quick ad, it's just going to add your calories. So nutritionally, if you're interested in like your macros and things like that, it won't be as accurate. When you're creating recipes, so if you eat more as a family, you can input everything that you've made in that recipe, so everything you've added to it, and then divide it by the portion that you then weigh out. So that makes it easier to create meals for the family. And then things like meals, so for example, I call one of my porridge recipes power porridge. So I know it's going to have 40 grams of oats in, it's going to have 10 grams of wheat bran. I very often have it with blueberries and water, and I very often add protein powder to it or chia seeds. So I can just click that I've had that and the measurements are already inputted. I haven't got to do it all separately. So that saves quite a bit of time as well. So I hope that's made calorie counting a little bit clearer for you and given you an idea of the basics and where to start and if you think it's going to be suitable for you. So if you've got any questions, just leave them in the drop down box below, and all the links to everything I've mentioned, if you just click the little arrow, then it'll take you down there. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video for more videos, and if you go along or follow me on my Instagram or my Facebook page, then you'll be able to keep up with all the different posts of things that I share on there as well. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.